Welcome to TMZ Live, the long-awaited Michael Jackson biopic. The trailer has now come out, and it has ignited a real controversy that we knew was coming. When you watch this trailer, which you are about to, you are not going to see anything, not a hint of the allegations of sexual abuse that were made against the singer.
No, the trailer and the film is directed by Antoine Fuqua, but the trailer, at least, does not. It's all about Michael's music, which is an incredible draw. And let's face it, that's the reason they're making this movie.
That's why he was famous.
It's why he was famous. It's why they're making the movie. But the critics, ever since they announced that they were even going to make this movie, this was their concern, and clearly the producers and the director don't really care, because at least based on this first trailer.
I know you've been waiting a long time for this. The tracks are made, the songs are ready. Let's take it from the top. This is your story. Honor your past and embrace the future. That's what people want.
Q, can you lower the lights for me, please?
Okay.
There was one little flash there where you saw him in the same outfit that he was in when he was burned from during the Pepsi commercial.
Yes.
So they're going to go into a lot of his life. Now, the movie, it's important to note, was produced by the Michael Jackson estate. And there has been a lot of buzz that they are not going to dip their toe into these several decades of allegations that Michael Jackson molested children.
Or that, even more offensive to some people, that they will present Michael as the victim. That he was the victim of an extortion, and that he was he was just destroyed by the press and the media, that he never did anything, and he was never convicted of anything.
He was acquitted.
He was acquitted. So maybe if they had put that in the trailer, that would have created an even bigger furor.
But we know that there is going to be some mention of the Jordan Chandler case that he settled, because, or at least there was, I guess maybe they're gonna have to take it out. Remember, they had to do reshoots because they found out, they remembered that there was a clause in that settlement that they can't mention.
They can't talk about it.
They can't talk about it. So they had to go back and do reshoots. So clearly they're gonna make some references.
In case you don't remember, Jordan Chandler had gone to Neverland and had sued Michael Jackson civilly in 1993, and saying that Michael Jackson molested him. And after a series of depositions that were taken, Jackson settled for $20 million. And a lot of people have grasped onto that and said, you know, despite the fact that he had been acquitted.
He settled by paying $20 million.
Paying $20 million. He was acquitted in Santa Maria in another case involving another child. Now, there are two people now, Wade Brodson and James Safechuck, who are suing him currently, suing the estate, for what they say is molestation.
And I would be really shocked if their cases are mentioned at all.
No way.
They're not going to be, because they're open, so that won't be there.
So the question is, can you do a biopic without mentioning it? That's the question.
The Austin Butler Elvis movie never really got into the fact that she was 14. I mean, they just showed him talking to her when she was young, but the movie didn't really dwell on the fact that she was underage.
But he was never ever accused of anything in that.
He didn't have to be accused, he married her, we know.
But here's the other side of it. That if they're going to get into the abuse at the hands of Joe Jackson, if they're going to get into the problems that he had after the Pepsi commercial and everything else, so they're showing more than just music, then the question is, how far should that go? If you open the door, should it be wide open, or can you just open it a crack?
I think the people who want to see this movie don't want to see that. They're going because they love the music. Well, and people who care about the child molestation case were never going to see this movie in the first place.
I don't know that that's true.
And you know that you see in the MJ the musical, they make a very obtuse reference to allegations, and that's it.
And that's the estate as well.
Right, and that's the estate as well. So there's something there, and maybe the movie is going to be sort of the same, in the same vein.
You know, the Bruce Springsteen movie coming out. It's not about Bruce's whole life.
Which is out now,
Yeah.
And it's not about his whole life, it's about a particular album. So they really narrowed the focus going in. This is Michael Jackson's story.
Yeah.
You know, having covered all those cases, having covered the 1993 case, having covered Santa Maria, having covered James Safechuck and Wade Robeson, it's a big part. It is a big part. And I disagree with you that I think people, you know, we've talked about this a million times, that people can love somebody's music. I mean, there was somebody just came out today. Raven Simone came out today
Talking
and
about
said
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby can be a great actor and not have to.
Right, and she separates those parts of his life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be, it's more, I agree with you that it's more jarring for it to not be there. I agree with you that people are going to come because they love the music,
Right.
but it's just too jarring. It would take me out
Why he
of
stopped making music.
paying attention to the music.
That's why partly what led to his death in some ways.
One other thing.
But if it's not in there, I think it's jarring.
My name is Brandon Benitez, and I'm from Miami, Florida. I just watched the Michael Jackson biopic trailer, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. It showed the dance moves, songs, choreography, and larger-than-life presence Michael really had. But really what stood out to me out of everything was, of course, Jafar Jackson, his nephew playing Michael Jackson. Not just the fact that he looked exactly like him, but in the trailer you could hear he sounds just like him. And it is only a teaser, so we got mostly shots of the concert and little dialogue, but it's safe to say everybody's excited for this movie.
I can tell you're excited. We can see your background. Clearly, you are an MJ super fan.
Yep.
Do you want to see any in the movie? Do you think they should make? They should include the allegations?
So I've seen what you guys are saying, and I have a few things to add. So this movie, reportedly, and from the trailer, we see that it only goes up to the bad era. And there was not many allegations by that point. Most of the allegations happened after the bad era, which is probably why they kept it out of the trailer, because that didn't really happen at that time. And on top of that, this is a teaser. So obviously in a movie, mostly when you're showing a teaser, not the official trailer, but like a 1-minute clip, it's just trying to promote the film and excite the people and show the feel of the movie.
Yeah, okay. I want to say one other thing. That there is another part that I doubt will be mentioned a lot in there, which is the death of Michael Jackson. And
No.
I want to just tell you guys something, and I'm really not saying this for self-promotion because it just is sitting there anyway on YouTube. But we did a documentary, a 2-hour documentary called Who Really Killed Michael Jackson. If you think it's Conrad Murray, you don't know the story, because there is so much behind this with other doctors. And it's on YouTube now. It's called Who Really Killed Michael Jackson.
Timothée Chalamet has a new project in mind. And this one, Kylie Jenner will be very interested in because that project...
She will be a major participant.
If things work out that way. The project he wants to work on is a family. He did an interview with Vogue where it was all about sort of how Timothée views the world. The universe, according to Timothée, they said. And one of the things he talked about was wanting to have a family. He said the whole purpose of life is to procreate. And he said that he told the author of the article.
That's a weird statement. It is a necessity to have procreation.
He does acknowledge to Vogue, he said, look, I understand that there are people who can't afford to and that it's not something they can do.
Or just can't.
Or just can't. He said, but if you are able to, to him, he feels like that's what it's all about.
That's very musky.
I think this is huge.
It is a little
That's
kind of
very musky.
It does sound very Elon Musk.
This is kind of huge for Timothée, though. I mean, we all kind of wondered, you know, we haven't seen him with Stormy at all. So we don't know kind of how he has been a father figure to Kylie's kids. I guess she has the 2 kids. And so him saying that he is kind of feeling the pressure, you know, Zendaya's engaged. They're obviously co-stars on Dune. He says his sister just had a baby. He's coming up on 30 too, feeling the pressure of being a dad.
Here's the rub. There's a rub here. So Kylie Jenner had her kids when she was in her early 20s. So these kids are going to be fully cooked by, I don't know, in her later 30s.
Right. Does she want to start it all over again?
Then she has freedom in her life for really the first time in her adult life, that she has real freedom.
But her kids are still young enough.
But what I'm saying is, by the time she's 36, 37, those kids are going to be adults. So she will then she'll be able to experience freedom when she's still young. If she has another go-round now,
It's not too late yet.
I didn't say it's too late.
No, I mean it's not too late. I know what you're talking about.
She is
but
not
she's
lived
not that far gone from those.
She'll be 50.
How old is Stormy?
Kylie's hardly tied down. Stormy's like what?
How old is Stormy?
7.
Okay, she's 7 years old.
Okay, so she's lived 7 years of life.
And how old is Kylie?
Probably
how old
28.
Is
28.
So when she's
Wow,
39,
okay.
the kid's going to be an adult, and she can then experience a free life still in her 30s.
She's still experiencing a free life now.
It seems like all you want to do is just get rid of the kids.
No,
I just want to get them out of here.
You talked to Siobhan in our office about counting because she probably X's the calendar.
So,
oh my god.
Well, no, I mean, but
if her and
there's
Timothy
a
end up
lot of
hitting it off,
responsibility that
then
goes
she's having
with
a kid with someone that she's like
So
really
now she's
in love
going to
with.
do it again when she's.
Or he moves on and he ends up having a kid with someone else.
Could be.
Dibs.
There you
I
go.
just think it's a weird.
Easy.
I think it's a weird thing to say. The purpose in life is to procreate.
That is kind of crazy for him.
It's a weird thing to say because it's very
it's
Elon
not
Musk.
weird. There are a lot of people who feel that way.
I know, but what about people who can't have kids?
Right.
By the way, some of those people feel
He
that way.
acknowledges that.
And they go through depression.
But do they have no purpose in life?
He doesn't mean there's no other purpose to life. I mean, he's worked.
I think you're taking it
come
too
on,
deep.
You're taking it a little too literal.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline in Los Angeles. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that Timothée and Kylie would procreate. Have you seen them on the red carpet together? Their body language doesn't lie. These two have had plenty of practice making a baby. Now, the only thing that would delay a little Timothée would be his plans of being one of the greats, meaning he has to win that Oscar before he can install that car seat.
That's not you. Come
that's
on.
funny.
The Oscar winners have kids.
Wait a minute, real quick, Jackson. We put a poll up on our live stream about Kylie, whether she would be excited or upset about having a baby with Timothée at this point. And what was the poll?
Over 60% were saying that she should be excited.
So 40% of the people agree with me.
No.
Coming up.
Well, the NFL is dealing with the sudden and tragic loss of one of their players this morning. Marshawn Kneeland, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, is dead. And we found out this morning in a very bizarre tale.
Be right back.
Well, the NFL is dealing with the sudden and tragic loss of one of their players this morning. Marshawn Kneeland, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, and really, sadly, had like a big play just on Sunday, is dead. And we found out this morning that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in a very bizarre tale late last night in Frisco, Texas. And the young man who was in his, what, Mike, second year?
Second year. Only 24 years old.
24 years old. But clearly, from what his girlfriend was telling police last night, he has had a history of mental illness, and it led to him taking his life last night after some interaction with police.
Yeah, so at 10:39 p.m. there was a call made.
I think we actually have.
Oh, do we have some
okay.
of this dispatch? Here it is.
We're talking to the girlfriend. She's trying to call his agent, but we're trying to get him to call him first. But she's saying he is armed and has a history of mental illness, and her quote was, "He will end it all."
They just received a text from him, a group text from him saying goodbye. They're concerned for his welfare. We have a lieutenant calling in from Plano advising that the NFL is calling Plano PD, and the subject is texting his family goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah, so what we learned happened was at 10:39 p.m., police get a phone call essentially saying that they were trying to pull him over. There was a police chase. He was able to evade them. They lost him for a few minutes. They find his car crashed, but he's not in it.
Why were they chasing him? Were they trying to follow him because of the...
No, not because of that. Yeah, so it was a traffic violation. Speeding. So it starts as a regular traffic stop. They try and pull him over. They lose him. They find his vehicle, then crashed a few minutes later. He's not in the car. The police set a perimeter up. They use drones. They use canines. And it takes them almost 3 hours. And they ultimately find a heat signature coming from a portable toilet. And sadly, it was too late. He had taken his own life, seemingly.
God. It's unclear whether there was somehow the girlfriend knew.
Yeah, because clearly the girlfriend was in communication with Marshawn, and it seems the family was too, and he was basically saying goodbye. And they told the police, hey, he's armed. And the family knew, seemingly, that this could happen.
You know,
At such an incredibly young age.
It really shows something that's about mental illness, that you think that you see somebody off the rails and that's the signal. Here, this guy literally performed his job
He scored
really
a touchdown,
well.
No, it was actually Monday and Monday Night
It was a
Football.
Monday night game, that's right.
He scored a touchdown. It's like,
And from the outside, it looks like
You would
this
say,
guy.
you would
Dallas
say this was a high
Cowboys.
moment for him.
Yeah,
Right.
Just like what you want to achieve in your career. He's on the Dallas Cowboys. He's a millionaire. You think he has everything, but it's not always the case.
No, it's really sad.
Hi, Alex Plank, Beverly Hills, California. I just first of all want to say my heart goes out to his friends and his family. I think this goes to show that we really never do know who is struggling, because he did seem to be on top of the world. You know, he, as you said, scored his first NFL touchdown this week for the Cowboys. And, I know personally sometimes when you get a career thing or a personal thing that you've always dreamed of, the thing that you would think would maybe heal you, it doesn't. And so I know Marshawn lost his mother earlier this year, and the NFL is very demanding. So he must have been struggling a whole lot more than any of us would have known,
The NFL has said, obviously, they are providing counselors to any players who want that or need that, but you just wonder how Marshawn's teammates, some of them I'm sure were friends, and now they have to continue this season and go play football knowing that they've lost one of their comrades this way. Meghan Markle is getting back to her acting roots, although there's a little twist on this. I don't know how much acting is going to be happening.
When you play yourself, are you acting?
That depends. Some people would say. Never mind. Anyway, she's got a role in a movie, by the way, a cast that's one of the best looking casts.
Great cast. Brie Larson.
Lily Collins, Jack Quaid, and Henry Golding. They play, it's called Close Personal Friends.
So it's basically two couples, and one is super famous, and one is not famous at all. And it's set in Santa Barbara, which is where she lives. She lives in Montecito, which is the suburb.
So you got to have some locals, I guess. Meghan was actually spotted around Santa Barbara shooting a few scenes.
Pasadena. They shot it in Pasadena.
They shot it in Pasadena?
Yeah, they shot it in Pasadena. There's a reason why they shot it in Pasadena. Can I give you a fun fact?
Please.
30-mile zone. That you don't have to pay for extras.
The TMZ,
if it's
you might
within
say.
the 30-mile zone of the Writers Guild.
Right.
If it's outside, it costs a lot more money.
They have to pay extras. They have to overnight people.
30-mile zone. TMZ.
So she's doing a cameo essentially. So this is probably her dipping her toes back into getting back into. She hasn't acted for 8 years.
So the question is she now going to really do it, or is this just, apparently she has
Does she
a really
get the
good
bug
friend
because she's back on the set?
She supposedly has a really good friend on this.
Well, she's probably bored of selling. What does she sell? Like jam, strawberry jam, or whatever she does.
And she makes popcorn out of real.
I feel like both of you are making fun of that industry that she's.
I'm not making fun of it. I mean, it's just she's clearly bored, is getting back into this, and it's smart. It's smart by the studio though, because it'll get eyeballs on it for sure. People are, whether you feel one way or another about her, people are going to be interested in seeing her.
So, but the question is, what is she going to do? Because if she presents as this hoity-toity, like famous person who's in her kitchen doing all of this stuff, it could either go where people say, oh, you see, I don't like her, or it could be she's making fun and I like her more.
Right.
So
it's going to be a brief cameo, let's be real. That's what it's going to
be like, oh, you're in Santa Barbara, of course you bump into
So is she
Meghan
friends
Markle.
with the famous couple or the not famous couple? My money is on the famous couple.
I mean, you would think it's the famous couple, but maybe that's the twist.
Coming up.
65% of SNAP benefits will be paid in November. Some emergency funds were found. But these are putting Band-Aids on a giant wound that is this government shutdown. So joining us is Congressman Pat Harrigan, representative from North Carolina. Welcome back to TMZ Live.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. So there is good news and bad news on the front of the government shutdown, which is now in day 37. The bad news has to do with air travel. Because of all the stress on the system with air traffic controllers and also TSA agents not being paid, Transportation Secretary said they're going to be reducing flights starting tomorrow. So get ready for some serious delays at 40 different airports. The good news is 65% of SNAP benefits will be paid in November. Some emergency funds were found. But all of these are just stopgap measures. These are putting Band-Aids on a giant wound that is this government shutdown. So when will the members of Congress get together and sort this out? When will the Senate finally get something done here? Joining us right now to talk about it, and by the way, the reason we keep talking about this is because we have made it clear what we think needs to happen, and we want to talk to as many people in Congress as we can. So joining us is Congressman Pat Harrigan, representative from North Carolina, and he is joining us now. Congressman, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Hey guys, always great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. So
yeah,
we have started something here because I'm just going to talk personally. I'm sick of hearing Democrats blaming this on the Republicans, and I'm sick of hearing the Republicans blaming it on the Democrats. For more than 200 years, this country has been able to operate because Congress has been able to compromise and negotiate. They can't do it now because we're in day 37 and there's going to be a mid-air collision at some point if this continues. And everybody's dug in, sick of the finger pointing. And my feeling now is we're calling it OWTA, out with their asses. Vote against every member of Congress in the primary coming up next year and tell the nation we're sick of representatives who cannot come together. I'm sick of hearing the blame game because it's both your faults. And I think we need a clean sweep. And I think we need new people, and we need to tell them, if you do this like they did that, you're out next time too. What do you think of that?
Harvey, I've been tracking your OWTA initiative, and look, I think that I think you're gaining some steam the longer this thing goes, right? Because the longer the shutdown goes, the more dominoes that end up falling, and the more consequential this is for the American people. I mean, look, I'm tired of saying the same things after 37 days too, just like everybody's tired of hearing it. The reality is nobody wins in a shutdown. It's not about, is it the Democrats' fault? Is it the Republicans' fault? The only thing that's assured during a government shutdown is that the American people lose, and we're watching the American people lose in real time. So we're all incredibly frustrated. I share your exact same sentiments with respect to some of this is dangerous, right? The longer this goes on, the more that you've got that kind of little thought in the back of every air traffic controller's head while they're trying to handle a bunch of different things simultaneously and keep people safe in the air, that I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills next week. That's not good for America. I think we can all have humanity and understand that that's the situation that we're in. And so I'm 100% on board with you.
So how does that message, and I hear what you're saying, that you agree with us, it feels like nothing will happen until more of your fellow members of Congress agree with this, and that they are actually realizing that there is no more, the finger pointing doesn't do anything. Like, even if you believed at the beginning of this that it's the Democrats' fault, and even if they believed at the beginning it's the Republicans' fault, you all have to realize that the American people are at some point just going to say, it's all of your fault.
I think you're right about that, Charles, right? They're going to hold everybody accountable, and everybody is accountable for it at the end of the day. I think you've got two really big problems here, because look, I am one that believes this is not our fault. I believe that Republicans, we did do our job on September 19th, and we have laid the groundwork for a simple, clean, continuing resolution that has no policy riders, nothing, that's controversial about it at all. But all that being said, look, I think one of the biggest problems that we have in Congress is that we have almost a historically low percentage of men and women in Congress who are veterans compared to our history. And if you look back in the times after World War II, we were hovering 60, 70, even up into the 80 percentile. And actually, just 6 years ago, we were at 9%. Today, we're at 19%. One thing I'll tell you about veterans in Congress, and you probably didn't think I was going to take it this direction. I didn't either. But we really don't argue about reality. Doesn't matter whether we're conservative, whether we're liberal, Republican, Democrat, what have you. Like, we actually understand the problems that America faces, and we don't argue over the problem statements. I think that's one of the greatest issues that we actually have in Congress right now is we don't agree on the problems. We've always had broad disagreement on the solutions to our problems in our country. That goes all the way back to the revolution. But we have rarely in our nation's history had disagreements on the problem statement, and that's where we are today, and that's why it's such a logjam.
That's a good point.
I want to just air one more grievance, that when I hear Chuck Schumer spinning this. And when I hear Mike Johnson smugly spinning this, and no, you need to listen to me. It's not our fault. Our representatives on the Republican side are doing God's work in their districts. BS. They are treating us like we're stupid, that you're at home right now. I'm guessing you want to be in D.C., and he's trying to convince us that you're better off where you are there than in Washington. I'm not buying what he's selling.
It's up to each individual member how they want to spend their time at the end of the day. I mean, certainly I've had some great time during this shutdown back here in the district with my constituents. We've had a telephone town hall where we had almost 16,000 people on it. That being said, I was up in Washington yesterday. I've been up in Washington every week of this shutdown. I've been flying back and forth, and look, I'm trying to get as much done as I possibly can within my sphere of influence. The reality is I'm not in leadership, and neither are 429 other members of Congress. They aren't either. And so, look, we're stuck in this position. I would just tell you, I'm a huge fan of Dusty Johnson's bill. It's a bipartisan bill that if Republicans and Democrats can't come to an agreement on a continuing resolution, keeping the government funded, that it automatically kicks in a 2-week CR every single time so that we never are in this situation again. And neither side can point to the other and say they're holding the American people hostage. I'd be in great favor of passing that bill. And that's exactly what I think we should do as soon as we get back into session.
We really appreciate you being with us again, Congressman, and look forward to talking to you soon when this is over.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all's perspectives, and thanks for doing what you do for our country.
Coming up.
It looks like Kim Kardashian is using her reality show to make, I mean, I hate to say it because I love Kim and I hope she passes the bar, but I think she's using the show to make excuses ahead of time in case she flunks.
I could not disagree more.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. It looks like Kim Kardashian is using her reality show to make, I mean, I hate to say it because I love Kim and I hope she passes the bar, but I think she's using the show to make excuses ahead of time in case she flunks.
I could not disagree more. But I'm going to try because this is what you're about to see is a preview of next week's episode of The Kardashians. And Kim is talking about something we heard at the beginning of the season. She made a reference to someone taking a hit, that someone had taken a hit out on her life. Well, now she's talking about how she found out about this.
And the distraction it caused.
Yes.
So the bar exam is 3 months away.
Do you feel nervous about the bar?
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
What?
Someone from prison was like, this person put a hit out on your life.
That's better than the dog ate my homework, isn't it?
Well, it's legit. But then last week, she talked about how she was using AI and they were giving her all the wrong answers and she was failing the practice tests as a result. So it has been...
That was a Vanity Fair thing where she sat down for
the lie detector
Yeah, the
thing.
lie detector.
So now, all of a sudden, in 2 episodes in a row leading up to her finding out tomorrow
No.
whether she passes
it's
or
not 2 episodes. So hold on. The clip we just watched, that is Kardashian's The other thing was a Vanity Fair interview.
Okay, it's a PR move.
But here's why it doesn't add up. Brendan, when did she? This would have been shot
like last year,
last
probably.
year at some point.
But also,
so
she said, no,
you're right. No,
she
it's
said
earlier
she
this
was,
year.
She
It
said
was
she
earlier
was,
this year.
She said the bar exam was 3 months away. The bar exam was in July, so it was 3 months.
So it was earlier this year. At that point, she was thinking about, I want to set up in case I don't.
Excuse me, but you know when the bar results come out. So yes, and that the show was timed for a day before the bar results.
So they knew that particular episode they were shooting was going to come out.
No, they just threw it in the air and said wherever it lands.
I mean, they could have.
That's the one that's going to air.
To me, this is calculated, right? Because we know she visits prison because she does all the prison reform stuff.
Right.
She's never going to tie someone's name to it, so it's not like it's the easiest storyline. Like, it's an easy storyline to make up. She visits prisons. Someone in prison put a hit out on her.
No, but she said she got a letter from somebody in prison that somebody had put a hit out.
Yeah.
So it could have been somebody on the outside. But
still don't buy it.
Well, here's the thing. I honestly, and I swear to God I mean this, I really am rooting for Kim. I hope she passes. She's going to find out tomorrow. This is nail-biting time for her.
I think she's clearly very nervous at this point. I don't think, as much as they plan things out, I don't think back in March or whatever, she was thinking, that episode that's going to air the second weekend in November.
Charles, we knew she was taking the bar exam. It's a big deal.
Hi, this is Melissa from Washington. I kind of do agree that it could be like a PR thing, but everybody's using AI for everything right now. I mean, I own a business. I use ChatGPT for everything. So, of course, she used it. And yes, she's going to be talking about somebody taking a hit out on her life, of course. But hey, I'm right there with you. I'm totally rooting for Kim. I think she's going to pass. And hey, we're going to find out tomorrow. So,
well, she'll find out tomorrow.
She'll find out tomorrow. I love this morning in our morning meeting. People are like, we think she's going to pass. Based on what? They're like, vibes.
Yeah. It's like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
The Virginia case of the teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old. She had been suing. Abby Werner is the teacher. And you remember that she was shot by one of her students. She had been suing the school district and the assistant principal, saying that they did not take action that day when they knew that the student had come to school with a gun. Well, today, that case came to a close. The jury reached a verdict in favor of the teacher, who was asking for $40 million. This was the verdict.
We, the jury, on the issues joined, find in favor of the plaintiff, Abigail Werner, and assess her damages at $10 million. The award interest beginning on June 1st, 2024.
So that's Ebony Parker, the assistant principal you're seeing there as the verdict is read.
The real defendant here, aside from suing the teacher and all, is the school board, because they have the money, which is, they're saying that she is an agent for the school district, and the school district or school board is responsible. The mother, by the way, not sued in this case, but the mother is serving time for essentially intentional misconduct involving weapons. Yep. And so
it's interesting that she did not sue the parent. I mean,
because there was no money.
Right, there's money there. You sue the school district.
And not only that, Ebony Parker, the assistant principal, is now facing 8 criminal charges of her own related to this case as well. Typically, we see, Harvey, that a criminal case will precede a civil case. But here, it is the reverse. The civil case is concluded against Ebony Parker. Now she faces criminal charges over all of this. It's a very tragic sort of situation. With there was testimony that the administration and the principal were warned 3 times on the day of the shooting, and that he had brought a gun to school previously.
This is Mackenzie in Newtown. I completely agree, Harvey. It's such a sad story and something that needs to be talked about. Like, adults do hold most of the responsibility when it comes to school shootings, especially when it comes to an elementary school. I personally think that the assistant principal in this case dismissed the warnings. It's very gross and it is grossly negligent, and that the teacher probably deserves a higher settlement than she received, because I think that had she passed away, the school board would have, given her family a higher, she would have given a higher settlement. So the accountability is the same whether the teacher passes away or not, which is really sad.
Well, $10 million is a big statement.
Coming up.
Well, Lisa Vanderpump is ready for the return of the show bearing her name, Vanderpump Rules. You know that they underwent a bit of an overhaul.
They're naughty, they're young, they're ready to
They're
go
not.
again.
Be right back.
Well, Lisa Vanderpump is ready for the return of the show bearing her name, Vanderpump Rules. You know that they underwent a bit of an overhaul. They got rid of the whole cast.
Well, this is after the scandal.
Yes. Which was, remember, we thought that was weird. Like, I guess they just felt like there was nowhere else to go with the storyline, so they have a whole new cast
fresh
now.
new cast. And of course, the question, I mean, there was so much drama the first time.
Everyone's going to compare.
Can they match it the second? We got Lisa out, and surprisingly, she said yes.
It's not surprising.
The Sir trailer just dropped.
Oh, yes.
I know, and I know reboots usually get a bad rap. What makes this cat?
It didn't.
It didn't.
It got a great reception. They're ready for it all over again.
Oh,
Can you believe?
I
Starting
know.
from scratch.
I know. What do you think makes this cast different from the last cast?
Oh, just their personalities, the fact that they're naughty, they're young, and they're ready to
They're
go
not.
again. Thank you.
Real quick, last question. We know everything that happened with Scandalval.
Yeah.
What do you think that this new group's gonna think before they like cheat after everything that happened?
Now, that would be a good thing, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, two things. One, I love Lisa Vanderpump. She's one of my favorite people. Two, how much did she tip?
That's what I was trying to
I was
see.
trying to figure
I was
it
looking
out
at the
too.
screen.
I'm
I was
looking
trying to
too.
figure out,
Can you figure out
what
the
did
money?
she tip? What did she tip? It's a big question when you're in LA when you go.
I'm sure she tipped well because she's making so much money off of all these spin-offs that she's been doing. And look, a lot of people kind of questioned her business sense when she just got rid of all the people that we fell in love with over the past 10 years.
Or fell in hate with.
But the new trailer, I gotta say, looks explosive. They talk about breaking the bro code at one point. There's like girls falling on the floor. There's like people yelling at each other. So I'm already in with this new cast.
Coming up.
Nicki Minaj is a woman of action. She has seen, like the rest of us, the devastation in the Caribbean. And Nicki not only saw this, she decided that she was actually going to do something about it.
Be right back.
Nicki Minaj is a woman of action. She has seen, like the rest of us, the devastation in the Caribbean, especially in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa, and the incredibly daunting efforts to rebuild and put lives back together. And Nicki not only saw this, she decided that she was actually going to do something about it. People on the island noticed that she had a team down there. Now, Nicki's not there herself, but she has a team down there actually distributing much needed supplies and other...
there's propane.
Yeah, propane, clothing, food, all sorts of things that her team is down there doing. And someone posted about it, and then Nicki acknowledged, yes,
that's really great.
they're there.
That's great.
And maybe there for a few more days. And she said, one love, Jamaica, love you.
That's really great.
Well, she's from the island, so, you know.
No, she's not from Jamaica,
yeah,
but
she's Trinidad
and Tobago,
so
yeah.
it's all like one people. So.
Right. It's the Caribbean does come together, and obviously there's been a lot of people donating time and money and resources and trying to put it together. I want to, on a personal note, thank everyone who has reached out on social media and asked how my family is doing. They are all safe, but trying to put things back together, getting some video now because they're finally getting some connectivity on the island. So we're getting photos and video. This is all that land there. I never even knew that was there. This is my aunt and uncle's house.
Crazy.
And I didn't even know those homes were there because it was so lush. And you can see clear to the ocean now, which is probably 1.5 miles away. But everything has just been, the island has been deforested by this, by the storm, and it is
unbelievable.
Really sad to see.
A lot of people are doing their part. You know, we just broke the story. Maxi Priest is also sending supplies to the island.
Yeah.
Reggae superstar.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, Sean Paul. So, you know, it's a concentrated effort with celebrities.
Yes, and it's going to take a long time. So great that she's doing that.
Hi, my name is Alex from Austin, and I think it's really refreshing to see Nicki, doing some good deeds out there. Usually she's in the tabloids for, Cardi B or Meg the Stallion drama. So it's really nice to see that she's in the tabloids for doing a great deed like this.
No, what a great thing she's done.
Yeah.
Really.
Coming up.
So Travis Kelce's got a little time on his hands, bye week for the Kansas City Chiefs. So got to be with his fiance, of course, right? They stepped out in New York City.
Be right back.
Travis Kelce's got a little time on his hands, bye week for the Kansas City Chiefs. So got to be with his fiance, of course, right? They stepped out in New York City.
But, it's interesting where they stepped out. They went to the Polo Lounge, which is in, I believe, the Plaza Hotel.
The Polo Bar.
The Polo Bar
Plaza.
at the Plaza. And it is a very high-profile place.
The Plaza, yes.
You're going to be seen when you're at the Plaza.
So, hey, but you like what you like.
You like what you like. And did they like it enough? Because look at that. They walk out with a doggy bag. And
okay, that doesn't mean they didn't like it.
What does it mean?
It means they actually really enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, you just leave it there.
Why didn't they eat their meal?
Maybe they needed to go home. I don't know. They're probably going home to watch.
It's a bye week.
Love Island or something. I don't know.
It's like there's something about this because last time we got Taylor, she was in New York. She was with Gigi Hadid.
And Gigi Hadid.
And they were carrying out a doggy bag.
So you think that Taylor is a serial doggy bagger?
I don't know what it is, but I wonder about it. It's kept me up at night. It's why I'm
Swifties,
tired.
get on that.
We'll see you tomorrow.